The 141st edition of the Scottish Cup begins for Brora Rangers tomorrow as we entertain a Highland League clash with the visit of Fraserburgh. These two love meeting in cup competition, certainly with the last two Highland League Cup finals where Brora, of course, twice the victors. However, the Broch do have the bragging rights this season, recording a 3-0 victory at home on matchday 3. Well, there is certainly nothing quite like a Scottish Cup weekend, the oldest association football trophy in the world. First made in 1873 in London, and the first winners were Queen's Park, unknowingly playing their part in the rich Scottish football history. Hello and welcome to the Scottish Cup match preview show on Brora Rangers TV at the glorious Dudgeon Park. I'm delighted you can join us for our in-depth match preview show as we look to get excited for the first round tie tomorrow afternoon. But first, let's look at how the Catachs have fared so far this campaign. Currently sitting top of the Breedon Highland League, our lead was cut by the chasing pack as Bankside proved too strong in the Granite City on Saturday. We hit form at a very good time with impressive performances over Keith and a Strathspey doubleheader, the standout performers being Shane Sutherland and Tony Dingwall, of course, as they provide the magic that they always do on the pitch. The squad was injected with some freshness. Loan additions Robbie Thompson, Shay Keogh and Ben Garner all joined from Inverness Cali. Delighted to say the trio have fit in very well with the squad and have all made telling contributions since they've joined. Now, a Highland League campaign would not be the same without the glitzy days out provided by the Scottish Cup. Of course, we've had days out to Hibernian, Livingston and Kilmarnock, just to name a few, as well as our own little piece of Scottish Cup history right here in 2021.
Wagner clips it in, it's gone over. Ross Stewart, it's fired down in the back post by Martin McLean. Would you believe it? Brora Rangers are back in front at Dudgeon Park. Quite unbelievable. Great finish by Martin McLean there as he was leaning back. Obviously the cross in kind of caught Ross Stewart out a wee bit. He managed to get it away, but really good reaction by Martin McLean. Greg Morrison also deserves credit there, Ian. As you said, coming onto the game, it's not easy. He's won that free kick in the corner, which has led to the goal. So
Fraserburgh, of course, are formidable opponents in the Breedon Highland League, but let's take a look on their last Scottish Cup adventure. It's the second consecutive season that they've had a Highland League clash in the first round. That was Rothes last campaign as a 8-0 convincing victory followed at Bellslie. Another home tie, another Highland League encounter as Turriff United stood in the way in the second round. Extra time was required, but the Broch did advance 3-1. Annan Athletic were the latest visitors to Bellslie in the Scottish Cup, but they were pushed aside 2-0 by the home side. They were then rewarded with an away trip, a glorious day down to Ibrox to take on Rangers, of course. This is where they exited the Scottish Cup though in the fourth round. They went one step further than the Catachs as we were beat by Livingston in West Lothian in the third round. Danger men for them, of course, Scott Barber, who has led the line superbly for Mark Cowie over his tenure. He's followed closely by Kieran Simpson. Both, however, are looking to add to their Scottish Cup talent. They've only scored 2 between them in the last 2 seasons in the Scottish Cup. It has been a struggle for the Catachs against the Broch, especially here at Dudgeon. So hopefully some Scottish Cup magic tomorrow afternoon will be provided as we look to get that particular monkey off our backs. Now, a mainstay of the Brora midfield, Ali Sullen has been sidelined with a knee issue, but has made some great progress of recent. We managed to catch up with Ali on his road to recovery.
So Ali, thank you very much for sitting down with us. First of all, we wouldn't be here without asking about last season. The treble winning squad, you featured 42 times in all competitions in that magnificent season for the club. What are your kind of memories from that?
Yeah, well, it was obviously a fantastic season, and cause it's not easy to achieve a treble at any level you're playing at. And there's been some great sides in the Highland League, especially in recent years. So yeah, just proud as well to achieve that bit of history with a good bunch of boys too.
You mentioned those good bunch of boys. It was a big overhaul in the squad of the summer. How did you kind of feel in the start of pre-season, not many bodies, and then managed to get these signings in the door one by one?
Yeah, it was very tight pre-season. I think we played all pre-season games with no subs. And yeah, obviously we made some additions during the season. Gaz, Buncey, Craigie obviously came at the start of the season, tremendous signing. And yeah, everyone played their part in the squad. So yeah, it was a special season. Was there a point in the season where you kind of thought, we're actually going to do it here? Like, we're actually going to win the title, and then the cup final kind of took care of itself? Not right. Like, you don't really think about that because it was so tight with Brecon the whole way. And then you obviously, once you get to you win the league and you're in the final, then you obviously start realising you could make a bit of history. But yeah, we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game against Fraserburgh, it never is, but thankfully we were able to get over the line and do it. The one that stands out for me is Huntly at home here. I think it was 0-0 up until like the 75th minute or whatever, and then Craig scores at the back post. What was your kind of feeling from that when that went in? Well, just relief more than anything, to be honest, because yeah, it was such a tight game, and I don't know, yeah, just to get that goal, it's some feeling. Yeah, we knew it still wasn't over, but just relief getting ahead in the game. Now, personally, you've had a tough summer with this big injury. Can you kind of talk us through what happened initially first? Yeah, so initially it happened here against for Martin in the Scottish Cup. I think it was October time. It's just a 9 tackle really. I didn't think too much of it, but it was obviously kept me out for 3 or 4 weeks. Managed to get. I actually think that was the first game I missed through injury since I joined Brora. I managed to get back playing, played a few games, and it happened again away to Fort Martin, and he just gave way. But again, managed to get back playing, and managed to make it to the end of the season somehow. We thought it was just a cartilage problem and could manage it until the end of the season. But yeah, I came back for pre-season, something still didn't feel right, so we got a scan, and yeah, it was a big shock realising I'd a thing called OCD in my knee and a torn ACL, which yeah, is normally not really normal to play for 6 months with that. So yeah, it was a huge shock, to be honest, knowing that's basically my season over before it even started. I think I got the news 3 or 4 days before the Kilmarnock game. So yeah, big shock, but 2 weeks now since the surgery. It's healing well and he's feeling good. So yeah, on the road to recovery now. How was that kind of, as you mentioned there, it was tough to take the news. How was it kind of mentally kind of battling through that? You've already started pre-season and you're kind of, you feel your body, although your knee doesn't feel right, you feel your body's kind of ready for the season to start. Yeah, it's a sickener. Especially when you've played for so long with it, and then you're coming up and having to watch games, and I don't know, you don't feel a part of it as much then. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I just need to focus on the recovery now. Yeah, as you mentioned, surgery's happened 2 weeks, back in with the physios and stuff. You must be delighted to kind of, that's the main hurdle over. Yeah, that's it done now, the road to recovery. I can start setting goals now, starting to work towards, obviously seeing Dougs at the weekend. And yeah, the aim is to get back for next pre-season, but if all goes well, no setbacks, and who knows, I could make an appearance this season, but main aim's next season. I can finally use that goal graph I've got for it. We're doing very well to use that this season. So, season started, top of the league with a comfortable gap. How do you assess the boys' start to the campaign? Flying without me. Don't need me back. Start looking for a new team. No, obviously they had that cap at the start of the season, which is, it's a tough start. Can't really judge them on that. But in the league, I don't think their performances were up to their usual standards at the start, but they're still getting results, which is the most important thing. And now the performance levels have picked up along with the results, so hopefully they just keep that going, because it'll be a big few months with a few big games coming up. Absolutely. Next one for the Scottish Cup on Saturday. Give us your kind of take for that one. Well, we obviously know it's going to be a very tough game. I think I've seen somewhere, I don't think we've beaten Brora since I've joined in Brora, beaten Fraserburgh in Brora since I joined. So yeah, it's obviously another challenge to overcome, but there's no better time than the present, I suppose. So
now, thank you very much for sitting down and kind of talking about your recovery. Before I let you go, I've got some kind of quick fire questions just to get you know. We know Ali Sullen, the player, the guy who can turn on a sixpence and what have you, but we want to know Ali Sullen, the person. So, just quickly, what's your day job?
Civil engineer for Parkland Roads.
How long have you done that?
4 years, coming on 5 years.
Would you rather score a goal or an assist?
I'll say assist because I don't get many goals.
If you were a gnome, what kind of gnome would you be in the garden?
A gnome? I don't know. Sleepy? Is that a gnome?
Favourite teammate to play with?
Craigie. Yeah.
And then finally, best moment in a Brora shirt?
I'll have to be the cup final against Fraserburgh in the summer, just securing the treble. Yeah, speaks for itself.
Actually, one more. What's your favourite chore around the house?
Probably doing.
You look like an ironing man.
Doing the dishes.
Ah?
Yeah.
Washing or drying, or do both?
Do them both. I do everything in the house.
Especially now.
No, not now.
A massive thank you to Ali Sullen for sitting down with us just to catch up on his progress so far and what lies on the road ahead. We hope to see him in a Catach shirt very, very soon. The boys have had intense preparations over the past week for this glamour Scottish Cup Highland League clash. We managed to catch glimpses of the action and a thought or two. Mark, tough test tomorrow against Fraserburgh. Give us your take for our Scottish Cup first round.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. We all know that Fraserburgh are a good side. We've come against them a lot recently, and obviously earlier on in the season we came down to a defeat against them 3-0, so we know it's going to be a tough game, but we're at home, back in the good pitch, so Scottish Cup tie, so we're confident that we can come out against a win there. We always prepare right. We always do the right things in training, that. So, I mean, I wouldn't. It's not revenge. We're going in for a Scottish Cup game. It's a game we want to win, get in the next round. We've had a few kind of good runs in the Scottish Cup in recent years, so we want to do the same this year. I mean, obviously with Brora, we've had a few good runs with. Earlier on in my years here, when we played Kilmarnock, I got to the 4th or 5th round, I think it was. So that was probably the highlight for Brora. But I think we've had a few other runs off the top of my head. I can't really remember, but yeah, we want to emulate that. That's what these kind of us sides want to do in the Scottish Cup. We want to get as far as we can and get that big tie. So yeah, Saturday's a big game, one that we can win as well. So.
With the loss to Bankside on Saturday, how key is it just kind of take a step back from the league to have these cup games to go out and have fun?
It's good because it was a disappointing result, disappointing performance as well, especially from the defence as well. But as you say, it's good just to take a step back and and you can kind of reflect on that and concentrate on the Scottish Cup, and we can get back to league action next week, so we can forget about that this week and go into the game Saturday.
Scottish Cup match day is something that the Brora fans certainly love. Give us your take for this one tomorrow.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We always look forward to Scottish Cup weekend. We've got a great affiliation with the competition. We've had some memorable and historic cup runs in the competition. So be looking forward to it. It's always great the build up to Scottish Cup weekend. We've been dealt a tough tie. You know, Fraserburgh at home will be a tough game for sure, but it's a game that we're looking forward to. The disappointment of the weekend is firmly out of our systems, and we look forward to welcoming the Brock to the Dudgeon. It's a venue where they've had a lot of success recently, more than what we would like. So yeah, we're looking to put that right tomorrow, and hopefully get a positive result. I think it's always the same when people say it's a good break from the league. But you know, I love the Scottish Cup, but you know, I also love playing in the league and building up momentum. And I think when you have a defeat like what we did at the weekend, you always want to just try and bounce back. And you know, it's the message to the boys that whether it's a league game or a cup game, we want to win. But we know how important the Scottish Cup is. We know how important the history of the cup is for our club. So we want to make sure that we put in a strong performance, and we want to make sure we're in the heart for the next round.
On those historic moments, is there any kind of spring to mind particular? We touched on the Hearts game earlier in the programme, but any ones that kind of reflect with you throughout your playing career and managerial?
I think, you know, the run we went on when Ross Toltley was the manager was an incredible run of games. I think, if memory serves me right, I think we had 4 really long, tough away ties. I think we played Civil Service Strollers, and then we played Stranraer, and then East Fife, and then Kilmarnock. So yeah, that was a brilliant run, a brilliant time to be at the football club, and a brilliant time to be playing for this football team. But like I said, we've had a lot of nice runs in the Scottish Cup, and it's a competition we always look to do well in. It's a competition we always, you know, want to get into the heart for the next round, and the excitement that builds. Always waiting for that Old Firm to get pulled out of the hat, which hasn't quite happened for us yet. But you never know. You know, our opponents tomorrow have drawn Rangers twice in the last few years. Once at home and then once away at Ibrox, and Bucky have obviously been away to Celtic, so it can happen. And I would love for our players to get the opportunity for a tie like that. But you know, that's the whole purpose of the Scottish Cup. It allows you to dream, and we should all dream of ties like that. But ultimately, we need to make sure that we take care of business. And we know that it'll be a tough game on Saturday for sure, but it's one that we want to go and win and kind of bounce back from the disappointment of last weekend.
Any major team news for us? I know Max Hume was training tonight. You must be pleased to have him kind of getting his way back into the fold. Yeah,
and we've missed him. You know, he's been he was a huge player for us last season, particularly in the championship running, and then obviously the cup final. So we have missed him. We didn't expect him to be out for as long as what he has. So it's great to have him back training. It's great to see him back training. Although he didn't have a particularly good night in training tonight, it must be said. But it's great to have him back, and you know, he'll be involved on Saturday. So it'll be great to welcome him back into the squad, and just gives us added strength for sure.
Now there's only one thing left to do, and that is for the Scottish Cup first round to begin tomorrow. Catax, we need you here, 3 PM kick-off time, to get right behind the boys. Mona Brora.